All right, good morning, everyone, again. So it's 10 past 9, so I guess I will begin today's session. Thank you very much for joining. If today is the first time of you meeting me, I'm Alicia. So I'm from Teaching and Learning Center at the Glen Mary campus. So very nice meeting all of you. Hi, Stephanie. Good morning. Hello. So I believe some of you has joined my previous workshop session on decision making that take place like last Friday. So today is going to be another sharing session on solving problems. So as I mentioned for my previous workshop that problem solving is actually part of decision making. So that's like there might be something that will be overlapping, all right, today during my sharing session. All right. So how is everyone today? How has the week been for you? So you can tell me by putting your thoughts at the chat box over there, or if you're too shy, maybe you can just give me a reaction. Oh, but you say good, but Stephanie is like so sleepy. Yeah, I'm sleepy as well. Maybe because of the big end mode is coming in, right? So Penny put a thumbs up. So I hope the rest of you are doing good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also looking for the weekend as well. But I guess lately, oh, but it's having breakfast. So enjoy your breakfast. And lately, I guess there's an increase of like a people falling sick, right? I guess because of the quality of the air. So everyone, please take care. All right. Okay, so let's begin for today's session. Okie dokie. So, well, today's session is on solving problems, right? So, of course, the first thing first of my session will be asking you how good is your problem solving skills? All right, so that's like two questions that I would like to ask you now, okay? All right, so it's a bit long over here, so just let me um, try to break it up for you. So some testing devices, all right, has unveiled some big issues with your company's new software application. So you have been asked to take part in a meeting to come up with a potential solutions. So what likely to be your first contribution to the meeting discussion? All right. So A, you will ask for a full report from the usability testing team. B, you will suggest, all right, two approach for solving the issue. And then you will also make additional suggestion for an overall improved user experience. C, you help others understand why some suggested fixes aren't feasible, particularly in the launch time frame. And D, you tell the team members what are the steps that is needed to implement the proposed solution. All right. So just 1 second, yeah. You can have a look while I'm trying to find the polls over here, okay? All right. So you will see a short screen popping up at your laptop right now. So what you need to do is you will choose which one you would do. All right. What is your contribution to a meeting discussion? All right, when there's something going on. Okay. A, B, C, or D. Well, there's only one answer that you have to choose. Yeah. So what is the first thing that come to your mind? Mhm. So do remember on which option you pick, yeah? Okay. Well, that's a secret that I'll keep at the end, yeah? So yeah, let's just pick the answer. Okay, so remember your answer, yeah? All right. So this is how it is. Like generally, I guess most of you all pick A followed by C and after that B. Okay, I will also write it down just in case I forgot. Okay, all right. So that's the first question. All right. So let's go to the next one. Question number two. All right, not question, but a scenario for you to think about. So your manager has come up with an idea, all right, for dramatically increasing sales this quarter through a special promotion. You think the promotion is ill-conceived and if implemented, it will distract the sales force, all right? So you have a different thinking from your manager. So what action do you take? All right. A, you sit down with your boss to identify recent purchasing trend and assess the promotion concept by the audience. B, you tell your boss about 3 ideas you have for alternative promotion. C, you send your boss a detailed email outlining the risk of the promotion. And D, you work with your boss to put all the pieces in place to give the promotion a fighting chance. All right. So I'm going to launch the poll again over here. And you will tell me which one you will pick. All right, so A, B, C, or D. Mhm. Do remember the option that you pick here? Well, this is very, very interesting, okay? All right. I'll let you see how the result looks like. And actually, most of you, no, I think, yeah, every one of you actually choose A, okay? All right. So what this result means, but you say A and C, all right. Yeah, so you pick the one that first comes to your mind, yeah? Okay, so let me review the answers, okay? I know that some of you, perhaps for the first scenario, you pick C or B, then the second scenario, you pick A, all right? So generally, each of these options you pick review, all right? What kind of problem solver you are, okay? So if you choose A, all right, you are a clarifier. So I think for the first one, most of you pick A, right? So clarifier means that you will do your homework. So you are the one that always ask a lot of questions and you're hungry for more information on whatever that is proposed. All right. However, there's a downside for this is that you may suffer analysis paralysis. So because that you ask a lot of questions, you get like a lot of solutions. So till the very end of the day, you do not know. Well, maybe not to say you do not know, but you may take some time to think what will be the best option for you. Okay. So for those who pick B, you are an ideator. All right. So not to say that you are crazy, but you are a very creative person, all right? You're very innovative and usually you are very visible and influential because you bring in new ideas and people will be like, wow, yeah, you'll give the people wow effect. However, okay, because you came up with all these new ideas that maybe the company that have not come through before, so there's always like times where you will overlook the details, which means on the company policy, the regulation, the laws, because you're bringing something new. All right. So you sometimes may have a argument or disagreement with your top management. All right. For those who pick C, all right, you are a developer. All right. So your personality when solving a problem is that You always want to get things right, okay? On the solution that people provided, you will find what are the flaws, all right? Anything that can be improved. You will look at all the little details, okay? So to the very end of the day, you may get stuck working on the perfect solutions, all right? And the last one, if you pick D, all right, on any of the two scenarios, which I see that none of your pick D, the option. So for those, all right, who pick D, all right, so it means that you are an implementer. All right, for you, whatever that's important to you is that I just want to get the job done. All right. So you will feel very frustrated and you are impatient when you see, like, for example, like the ideator or developer when they're trying to generate and refine the ideas, all right? You will be just so impatient and think like, yeah, we just get the things done now, all right? So the downside of this would be you lead to the action too quickly, all right? So Li Jing mentioned that, all right, people doesn't like him because of his personality, all right? So how true it is, do you think, of the option that you picked just now represent whatever that you are, all right, in solving the problem? So you can put in it at the chat box and let me know how true it is. Are you really like a clarifier? Because I see like most of you actually pick A, right? So you are the one that actually will dig in all the information and ask a lot of questions. Does it represent of who you are? 80% correct, but you actually your name actually pop up in my mind. I just want to ask you. How about Stephanie and Janet? What do you think? Does it represent who you are? Okay. Oh, Janet mentioned that she's a mix of A and C. All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. How about Stephanie? Also seek to clarify. All right. So as we can see, solving problems, right? Everyone has their own way of doing things. So some might be a clarifier, some will be like just like to give ideas, all right? They just do not want to ask too much of questions. Problem to them means problems. They just want to solve it like quickly. And some would like to just find what is the flaw, right? So that is why, all right, there's no like correct answer or the best problem solver, all right? So you are who you are, but it's very important that you know your style of solving the problem, okay? So it's easy to see, as mentioned on my slide over here, that sometimes we can drive each other crazy, as what Li Jing mentioned, that the ex-boss may have a different thought on him, thinking that why he's like so different from the others, right? And we may see it like a waste of time. Sometimes when we're trying to solve a problem, when we think that there's so many people like with different ways of doing things. But in fact, all these different thinking actually play their own role in making the thing work. All right. And every project or every solution needs all these four type of thinker to help to get things done. So since you attended this sharing session, so now you know. So it's also you have you can be an harmonizer, all right, to help to guide everyone, all right, at the right direction. So previously I also have a sharing session on the 6 thinking hats, all right. So that's why I'm not going to talk more about this, because maybe some of you have already attended this sharing session. So what this 6 thinking hats is about, at each of these different hat colors, so that's like green, white, black, red, yellow, and blue. So with each of these color, yeah, teamwork is very important. Yes, I think your boss would love you very much, Li Jing. So yeah, so at each of these color, it means that at this point of time, what is the thing that you all should think about? All right. So for example, if you are a clarifier, all right, you like to ask questions, but it's a time, all right, when people should contribute ideas, then perhaps it's not the right time to ask too much of questions, but time to think of some ideas as well. All right. So this is about the different types of problem solver. All right. So what is problem solving? All right. So in a layman term or a simple definition is that you think of a solution to solve a problem. All right. So in our life, okay, we spend a lot of our time solving problems, regardless of small or big, and regardless of our age as well. So we actually start to solve problem when we were a baby. Okay, we learn how to eat, we learn how to coordinate our movement, and also to communicate with others. All right. So as we grow, the problems seem to be more complex and more complicated is because we already master how to solve the simplest problem. And now we are facing like much complex because we are matured, all right? We perhaps can be a wiser person. So that is why we can see that the problems that coming to us is quite complex and complicated sometimes, all right? And the types of problems we face also depend largely on also the job, all right? So for example, if it's a manager, then the problem that he faced might be like staffing issue, resolving client or maybe staff complaints and sort out problems and this and that. As for an aircraft designer, as you can see over here, right? So probably he won't have to deal with like staffing issue, but much more on aerodynamics and safety feature. And same goes to like those in the HR department and also those who are lecturers, yeah? So no matter what problem that we are facing, so there are some common ways, all right, that we can help to tackle them in an effective way, all right? So I'm going to share with you later on. So why is this important? Okay, so perhaps you might think like, yeah, I just want to solve a problem and that's all lah, okay? So that it won't like get on my way and I can move on with my life, all right? So problem solving is actually very important so that we are aware what is happening around us and that we can control, all right? We can take in the control on the things that is happening. What is the outcome that you want it to be, all right? So problem solving helps in like fixing things that are broken. All right. I'm not sure any of you would actually disagree with this because I used to live with a lady, all right, when I was studying abroad, and for her, she's the type that she won't fix anything that is broken. What is broken is meant to be broken. That's what she mentioned. All right. However, we can look at the things in another perspective, all right? Some things perhaps are having flaw at day one, okay? But if we continue not to fix it and as I mentioned, to aware and to get things done, it will just continue to get worse. And of course, fix it also like there's no use, right? So problem solving actually help us, all right, to see this thing in another perspective, all right, so that we can move on with our life in a better way, all right? Next is addressing risk, all right? So if we encounter a problem, we can, let's see, broken is also a solution. Yes, I do agree with you, Li Jing. Yes, it is, all right. Okay. Depends on the broken thing. Yeah, lucky. Yes, all right. So yeah, feel free to put in your thoughts at the chat box. Yeah. So about addressing risk is about whatever that happened, okay, you wanted to prevent it from happening in the future. So at the point where things happen, all right. So at the first place, you already know how to fix it in a way or solve it so that in the future it will be a better idea or better process for you. And next is improving performance, okay? So I will mention this in working perspective, yeah? So how this work is that when we work in a department, as what Li Jing said, teamwork is very important, right? So when one person action fail, it will also cause a chain reaction, all right? Because we depend on each other. So when we know what are the things that arise, so we will help the other party to solve it, and then it will also benefit us and also benefit the team. That's what we want at the end of the day. All right. And lastly, this seizing opportunity. Okay. So it's also what Li Jing has mentioned about, yeah. So opportunity over here, okay. Solving problem is not just only we want a solution, but sometimes it also offers us another perspective and also another new idea, all right, that will help us in our daily job, all right, or our relationship with other people. So that is why this is how important it is in solving problems, okay? All right. So when we talk about solving problems, I'm not sure about you, but last time I used to think about like, yeah, people with high IQ, like smarter people, they probably will be able to solve the problem like faster, okay, or better. So how about you? Do you think that people with high intelligence, that means IQ, can solve problems faster, right? So you can scan this QR code and let me know. Li Jing, I'm sure you have the IQ, okay? So do you think like people with high IQ can solve problem much faster since they have a high IQ, right? Can they solve the thing faster? Okay, if you would like to pop in your thoughts, yeah, you can put it at the chat box, okay? All right, Stephanie is saying no. But he say he can. All right, write an essay for this. Okay, Penny mentioned not necessary. Okay. All right. So far, most of you, okay, some of you may think yes. Okay, some of you may say no. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm a very scientific person. So I found this journal from Nature Communication, all right? Ah, Li Jing also got, wow, Li Jing, you're at each of my point. I may have to invite you as my co-trainer, or maybe have another training session conducted by you, all right? Okay, so according to this Nature Communication Journal just published not too long ago, all right? So they found that, so this paper was published by Germany, all right? Okay, so let's see, yeah, what Anna has mentioned. Yeah, because creativity can also solve problems in very creative ways. And yeah, Howard Gardner multiple intelligence theory. All right. Okay. So according to this journal is that among thousand over participants that have conducted this research, that higher intelligence people, all right, which means they have higher IQ, they actually took longer time, all right, to solve problem. All right. So it doesn't mean that if you have a higher IQ, your mental process work faster. All right. Common sense instead of IQ. All right. So the reason why is if you did join my session last Friday, I mentioned about these two brain systems that we have. All right. So that is why I say that some things might be overlapping because decision making is also part of problem solving. So when you're smarter, in fact, you do not jump into conclusion in a faster way. All right. So I will just roughly, all right, to talk about these two brain systems that we had. All right. So generally, system one is the brain system that usually will take in control of most of our daily life decision. Okay, it's also due to our survival mechanism so that we don't drain our mental energy too much. Imagine that each of the uh, work, okay, or things that you do, you have to think so much. You'll be so tired, right? So human is a very, I would say, interesting creature, okay, that we have our own survival mechanism, that our brain system, all right, also divided into two, where most of our work or most of our decision that we make is actually done by brain system number one. So brain system number one act very fast, all right? It's based on your intuition and instinct. So when we talk about intuition and instinct means that the experience that you got, all right? So that is why some people decision, you may think that it's not good, all right? But for that particular person, he might think that this is the best for me is due to the experience that he got, all right? While for system number two, all right, so it's a much rational thinking. So it's a kind of a slower brain system because it really needs your self-control, you need your discipline and to think about something. All right, as you can see here, it's usually is very logically, all right, the way how your brain system number two think. And if you are stressed, all right, automatically it will go back to brain system one, all right? So brain system one will take in control and help you to make the decision, all right? So which is why over here, a smarter person it is, in other words, he may have a better self-control and he can be a better disciplined person. So that is why, as I mentioned, all right, the brain needs a longer time to take over and think things over. So the smarter it is, the slower it is, okay? Hard to define common sense. All right, okay. How about EQ? So just now we talk about IQ and now we talk about EQ. All right. So EQ is also known as emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence means that how well you understand your own emotion as well as the others and how you can handle it. All right. So in other words, problem solving not only needs your IQ, but also your emotion. Very often when problems arise, right, we can be very angry, we can be frustrated. So when we were emotions driven, all right, so your brain system number one comes in, okay, and he will take control and you may be doing some irrational decision, maybe, all right, and after that, when you calm down, yes, definitely. We are only human. Yes. Okay. So how can you like stay calm? All right. And not to be in a hurry or in a hassle when things arise. Okay. So that is why EQ and IQ plays a very important role in solving the problem. So when your problem solving is operating well, okay, which means that your brain system number two, because you calm yourself down, all right, you tell your brain system number two that you need to work now, all right, let's be rational, let's think, let's get the things through, all right. So when you take enough of information to make a good conclusion, all right, so you won't be too overwhelming and you keep your head clear, all right. Still learning to act instead of react. Yeah, I will talk a little bit more about this, okay? And in other words, when you are calm, okay, and not like in a very angry mode and making a decision, you actually can generate motivation for others so that they know that, okay, even though you're not a boss or you are a boss, all right, it will actually give people another kind of experience or reaction. So that it's very important that you stay calm and you take in control of your emotion, okay, when things happen. Yeah. But as what But you mentioned, yeah, most of the time we react first before we act. And also what Miss Stephanie has mentioned, because we are just only human, that our subconscious mind will take over. So this is also another type of survival mechanism so that we don't break down so easily. But does it actually brings more trouble for us? So that's also another question to think about, yeah? Okay. So when your problem solving is low, all right, or when you are not in your emotional situation, all right, so perhaps you will just let other to make decision for you. So let's just take an example of like in a family, all right, you are overwhelming with the housework. Okay, sounds like my own experience, but anyway, all right. So yeah, so you're too tired and you will just have someone else to take decision for you because you feel like I'm already very tired. So just do whatever that you want. Okay, so this is when the solving problem skill is not too good, all right, because you have someone else to make decision for you. And you may struggle to keep a clear focus on the situation at hand, especially if something that is very urgent, that is very important. And if you allow the emotion or the brain system number one to take in control, sometimes you may make not a very good decision, all right? And also your time and energy spent on worrying about the decision or the solutions that you have thought about, perhaps it's not worth the time and also the energy that you have spent. And lastly, you will prefer to deal with impractical problems rather than the people, all right? Because when a lot of times, okay, I will just say in a general way that when problem arise, we tend to blame someone else, like why you do this, why you do that, but rarely, all right, that we actually think about the problem itself. Okay, and this is also because the emotion take place. So this is, as what Miss Stephanie say, we are just only human. All right, so it's very important that at times you just need to pause and do some breathing exercise. Okay, so this I also have mentioned during my previous workshop session. Okay, yeah, so it's very important to, and all this actually needs practice. All right, you really need to tell yourself to calm down and just to breathe, even though that's only for that few seconds that you may think that is like a very long time. Okay, and in fact, I'm also still practicing that. All right, let's see what Li Jing mentioned. Lesson learned from previous workshop. Okay, think of EQ, Equatorial Hotel Buffet. A good one, all right, Li Jing. Okay. So over here, okay, we have enough of problem definition and we know about EQ, IQ. So now let's get to the point, yeah? So what is the general problem solving method that I would like to share with you today? Okay. So over here, I would like to share with you about this 6-step process, which is a step-by-step way, okay, how you can approach a problem with a clearly defined step so that you all won't like start asking each other like, so what do we do next? All right. So there's 6 steps over here. And if you did like join my previous session, so it's almost quite similar, all right, to the decision-making process, as decision-making is part of the problem solving, yeah? So it's so much easier to suggest solutions when you don't know too much about the problem, yeah? So when you have problem, everyone will just boom you with a lot of solutions and you'll be thinking that, does that really work, okay? So of course, there are a lot of problem-solving methods. Even you yourself now may have your own way of solving problem, and this is just one of it, okay? And usually people are not consistent in how they solve problem, all right? That is also because of your brain system, number one, all right? Based on your intuition, your experience, you might think that this work better for me, all right? And also, sometimes when we find something that is not working, then we will find something else, or we may want to continue to do it. So till the very end of the day, everyone has your own way, all right? And this is just one of the methods that I would like to share with you, okay? So what's next? Yeah. Yeah, we have been like solving, even like now, okay, maybe there's certain problems that we have to settle, yeah. So here are the 6 steps, okay? So I'm going more in depth in each of these steps. So the first step is that we need to identify and select the problem, okay? Very often when things happen, all right, so we will just think that, oh, that's the problem that we need to solve now. I just want to solve it now, okay? But in fact, is that the real problem, all right? So what is really causing the difficulty? Okay, so here is one of the methods that I would like to share with you is the STAR method. So S is the acronym for stop. So when things happen, we just really need to stop, pause, and breathe. Okay, if you realize that if when you are nervous, when you are angry, what actually change is actually your breathing. Yeah, and when you can take in control with your breathing, things may have changed in a different way. And also the way you think, all right? So you think, all right, if this is the real problem. And then if it is, Then you proceed and you review again. So this is how you can identify the problem, and I will talk a bit more on this later on, all right? Step number 2, all right? So now you've identified the problem. So we're going to analyze the problem next, all right? So what is the real cause of that? All right, so the key here over here, as you can see on the screen right now, is to focus everyone's effort on analyzing the problem. So the first thing of analyzing the problem, of course, you need to gather the information. So I'm going to talk more about this later on as well, since it's quite important. And when you do not have enough information, all right, so you need to know how to research and also to collect all these important things that you need to know before you make a decision or to solve the problem. And once the information is gathered, all right, so you also need to know how to analyze it. And then to the end of the day, all of you should reach a consensus on which solution to make. So step 3 and 4 would be generate solution and also select which will be the best for you. So as I mentioned, yeah, so when you already know what you identify, you analyze, so now is the time to develop possible solution. So brainstorming is one of the tools that you can use to generate as much of this solution as possible. So later on, I will also share with you one special exercise, all right? And I also like send a link to you on this whiteboard where we can do this together later on, yeah? And once you brainstorm a lot of ideas, a lot of solutions, then you have to get the best solution. So how do you define best, all right? So everyone definition will be different for the best solution. So most important is that you have evaluate and that everyone agrees to it. Then that is the best solution, all right? So a number of factors can affect the solution that you pick, but importantly, do prioritize which one actually is the more important and may work the best for you. All right. So at this point of time, you may already have a plan of action on what to do next. Okay. And the final 2 steps would be you implement it, and remember you need to follow up. Okay. So these 2 steps, yeah, even though it's the final step, but it's also the important one because it will tell you if this solution that you pick, is it a good one or a bad one? All right, I won't say the bad, but if it works, all right. So if it doesn't work, then you have to go back to step number 1 and reanalyze again and think of other possible solutions. So it's very important that you have a feedback channel on each of the solution that you make, all right? And very often when we already feel like, oh, this is the solution, then we just stop. Okay, we would just think about like, yeah, my problem is solved and that's it. Okay, at times it's better and it's good, all right, to have a reflection or reflective practice on the things that you have selected and how it really works. Okay, so as I mentioned about this information gathering, all right, in order to implement an effective solution to a problem, it's very important that how you gather your information, all right? So information can become in different types, all right? There's like fact. Fact means like based on data, all right? Opinion will be something like your observation and also your experience. Opinionated fact is a combination of facts and opinion, all right? So perhaps you have read something, okay, that is clearly will work, and also your experience, your observation. So that is known as opinionated fact. Concept will be a information, all right, that will make into a solution, all right? Assumption will be an hypothesis. Procedures are like steps, all right, that you want to work things on, like step 1, what you do, step 2, what you do. Whereas process is quite different from procedure because it will describe the continuous of action, all right? So it will tell you like how it works, okay? So it's a little bit more elaboration on your procedure. And lastly, principle is something that is agreeable, like the law or the rules, all right? So that's the principle. So it's very important that what kind of information that your team or your friends or your family needs when you want to solve a problem. So apart from like gathering information, sometimes we can also have a chat with the people around you. Okay. I believe when you encounter a problem, you will also like share it with your friends because they may have some similar experience that they will share it with you as well. So if like in an organization, all right, or in a department, sometimes it's also good to ask someone that have been like working here for years or maybe have a better or working experience so that they may advise you. Maybe this problem is something they have like experienced before, so they will know like perhaps this solution may work for you or maybe it may not, okay? Because things change and years pass, so at least you know, okay, something to start on, all right? And what questions should you ask? Okay, so when you are gathering information, so as I think some of you are a clarifier, yeah. So if you choose like option A during the first two scenario questions, so you would be someone that would always ask questions. So this is a way of how you gather the information. In other words, you are doing your homework. So when we ask question, of course, we cannot run away from this 5W1H, right? So that will be when, where, who, what, why, and how. So some examples would be like who, okay, define the problem. So what is a condition right now, right? Or where this problem comes from or where this water coming from and how we can increase our market share and which equipment is working. All right. So if you have no idea on how to ask a question, perhaps you can start with this 5W and 1H. All right. So how you can gather the information, all right? Apart from like, yeah, asking the questions, okay? So you can conduct interviews, you can ask the people around, or you can identify and study the statistic on the facts that you have collected, or you can send questionnaires, all right, to your employees, customer, if you want like an anonymous reply to know exactly what is going on. Or you can also conduct some technical experiments, all right, for those who are, yeah, doing some experiments, okay, on your things. Or you can also observe, all right, the procedures or processes in question. Example, like if in a factory, you are working in producing like maybe Panadols, all right, and the thing that, so when they are doing the quality assurance, things go wrong. So this is a time where you reflect on the procedures and the process. Or you can also create group, all right, to discuss the problem, all right? And the next important thing, all right, is about how you define your problem, how you identify your problem, all right? So as I mentioned, when we try to solve problem, we can often be will pressurize ourselves that, yeah, it's a problem, right? So we just want to solve it as soon as possible. The thing is, the solutions that we give, can it actually help us to solve the root cause of the problem so that it won't arise again? All right. If not, then we would only ended up solving the wrong problem altogether. So with this, when you identify the problem, all right, instead of like just see it as a superficial kind of thing, so this will actually help you to define and understand what exactly is going on. So this can prevent you from like spending too much of time, energy, and resources, okay, on this maybe the wrong problem, all right? And till the end of the day, you can justify if this is a real problem that really need a change, and you can able to start something much more successfully. So here are the 4 steps, all right, to identify the problem. So first is establish the need, after that followed by justify and then understand, and the last part will be you will start to know what is the real problem. So in establish the need, all right, again, you will ask questions, all right? So asking questions or we can see that the clarifier role is very, very important. Because if we do not have enough of information and we don't know what exactly is going on, then we may end up solving the wrong problem. So here are the questions that you may want to ask yourself when you want to identify what is the real problem. So the first is, what is the basic need? And then what is the ideal outcome, and who will and won't benefit? All right. So here is an example about what is the basic need. Okay, sometimes when we think about problem, when you are in a meeting or in a discussion, we tend to think too complicated. All right. So how you can simplify it or paraphrase your problem is to know what is the basic need of your problem. So for example, over here on my right, okay, you can see that like customers aren't completing orders once they have signed up for a website account. All right, so what is the need? All right, so actually what we need is to get a higher online sales. All right, so this is some of the example. And what is the ideal outcome? All right, so when we think about a problem, then we will always come up with a solution, but at times your brain just gets stuck and couldn't work. So what you can do is actually do a reverse thinking. Instead of thinking about solution, think about what is the outcome that you desire from a problem. All right. So over here we can see that okay, I would just like to increase the weekly sign up by 20%. So at times being more specific is better because you have a better goal and you know what is the objective that you want to achieve. And lastly, okay, who will and won't benefit? All right. So when we think about solution, at times it will involve like some of your team members. So who will and won't benefit? Yeah. So here are two tools that I would like to share with you. So one is known as the impact analysis. Another one is a future view. All right. So this impact analysis, I think we can use it for like our teaching survey, perhaps. Yeah. So on the top, all right, you can see that the level of satisfaction with the different colors box, all right. So if it's towards the left, so if student like choosing the score is like towards the left, then no improvement is required. But if a lot of student is choosing on the right hand side, okay, then perhaps some improvement is needed on our teaching. Okay, so this is one of the tools that can be used. And the bottom part is actually known as a futures view. All right. So for this, so it came with a few I would say questions that you may need to think about. So in the middle, if you can see the blue circle is the change or the solution or the decision that you have decided. Then you will think about what are the direct consequences of this decision or solution that you have made. And from these direct consequences, what are the indirect consequences? So that is why it's known as the future view, because you think about what you predict, all right, what is going to happen, all right? So in other words, it try to assess the risk, okay? So here is an example how it works, all right? So in the middle, the decision or the solution to be made is about 20% budget cut. So the direct consequences would be problems with morale, sales staff to travel economy, can't invest in IT, and so on and so forth. And the green circles will be the indirect consequences. All right. And after that, what is the other indirect consequences because of this solution that you have made? So from here, you will analyze, okay, and identify what actually is the real problem, okay? And number two, justify the need, all right? So justify why do you have to solve this problem, okay? So I'm talking about this in a working or organization perspective. Is the effort that you put in, all right, to solve this problem is aligned with your overall strategy that is related to your organization or your team or your department priorities, the mission and values? And what benefits will you get and how will you measure this once you have solved the problem, all right? So again, it goes back to what is the strategy and objective of your team or department. That is why it's very important that you will be as specific as possible. And lastly, with all these needs, okay, when you talk about the needs of changing and when you justify it, are you likely to be able to implement this solution, right? So this is a kind of like a risk analysis part, all right, on the solutions or the problem that you want to solve. And step number three is that finally you can like, you need to like understand the problem in a wider context, all right? So over this step, you will tend to look at the problem much more in depth, all right, and to see what you can learn from whatever that other people have been done before. So you can use like a root cause analysis or the 5 whys that I have shared last Friday, all right, to know what exactly it is the cause of the problem. And have any solutions been existing for this problem? All right, have any one in your organization, which means it's not only limited to your department, but other department, all right, that you can use or you can apply back in your department. And if yes, what did that do and what worked and what didn't work for this solution that you have to think about? And next, you also need to think about what are the constraints. Yeah, so might be something from the internal, for example, like the people, the money, or maybe your own bosses, okay, that may block your solution that you have suggested. And also external constraint would be much more to like government regulations and laws. And is there any requirement that this solution have to meet, right? For example, like this solution, all right, so by the end of the day, I need to get like 20% markup for my sales and so on and so forth. And lastly, how do you define success? So success means that your solution actually works. So how do you define it, all right? I hope that this doesn't make you like think about, wow, solving problem actually have to see so many things. So it's like creating more and more problem, all right? But it's actually part of the process. So if you were at my last session, yeah, so I would say that this would be much more to be used when you are dealing with something very complex and complicated. But if it's like a simple problem, then of course you don't have to do all this, all right? Because thinking, all right, is very tiring, yeah? And finally, the last step would be writing a problem statement, okay? So finally, you know what's the need and you understand the problem. So now you need to write your problem statement. All right. So who will be involved? What language and information is needed? And what they need to be produced? And then what incentive, okay? Sometimes when you want to encourage somebody to solve a problem, well, some may need like a reward system to like motivate the people to do so. All right, what are the incentive, what are the rewards so that people will get to do it? And lastly, all right, so how will we evaluate the solution? All right, so either you will give survey, all right, and other possible analyzing proposals. So now, okay, after we know that how to gather the information, we identify the problem. So yeah, let's come to solve the problem, all right? Over here, there's like 3 different categories that you can use to solve the problem, all right? So sometimes we may have like brainstorm a lot of things, so we may need to visualize as what Bai has mentioned about this multiple intelligence. Some people, they are very good with words, but some they are good with pictures. So I'm the kind of a visual kind of person that I need to see it. All right, I need to write it down or maybe like put a sticky note to see like what is going on. Yeah. So there's like affinity diagrams, fishbone, and mind map, which I will go into much more detail later on. And also there are tools for capturing and displaying data and information. If you have too much of data information to be analyzed, so what are the tools that can help you? And lastly, these problem solving techniques, all right, that I will share with you later on. So diagrams for visualizing what are the problem that is coming up, yeah? So first is about this affinity diagram. Usually you will use this after a brainstorming session where everyone, you know, like during brainstorming, ideas just come from everywhere and people can be very wild and crazy, okay? So it's very important that after a brainstorming session, then you will start to categorize them, that what it is, which one you can group it together. Is there any like overlapping ideas that come up, all right? So this is about affinity diagrams, how it works. Next is a fishbone or Ishigawa diagram. So it's known as Ishigawa because it was invented by this Japanese gentleman. So you will have something that looks like a fish bone, all right? So the fish head, okay, will be your problem, all right? And after that, you will have like the main cause, and from there, you will evaluate again what actually causes this. So for example, like over here about reduced competitiveness, all right? So we can talk about like external environment, management, staff, and da. So we go much more in depth, like external environment, what it is. So we give a much more detailed information on that. This is what fishbone or Ishikawa diagram for. And the third one is about mind mapping, all right? So some of we all right, use mind mapping to help us with our studies. So that's also part of like problem solving. Yeah. So mind mapping is a kind of like a tool to help you to visualize your thoughts so that you can communicate with other people. Yeah. So whenever that you have in mind, some people that just need to visualize like me. So it'll be much easier for people to know what are the connection, what are the thoughts. All right. So this is about mind mapping. And the next category is the tools for capturing and displaying data and information. When you gather a lot of data and when you want to analyze it, right? So of course there are much more tools out there, but yeah, I just want to tell you generally. So there's like Gantt chart. I believe all of you are familiar with this Gantt chart. Okay. So apart from like helping you to keep track on the things that you want to do, it also helps you to analyze the data as well on when exactly it should be done, all right, and so on and so forth. And Pareto chart is just another name for how you analyze and to group your data. So how this works is that you have the option, all right, and it goes from the highest or the longest from the left to the right, and you will also have the cumulative percentage. So you will calculate, all right, so this is much more very statistic kind of thing. And you will see what is the relationship of these two. This is known as the Pareto chart. So it's a combination of a bar and also a line chart, yeah? All right, over here, what are the problem-solving techniques that you can use? Perhaps that you are already using for your department and also for your team. First is about brainstorming, yeah? And it's quite common when we need to, when we are in a meeting, when problem arise, your boss asks you to come in and you just start to brainstorm what are the ideas or solutions that you can do. Sorry for my voice. So at times we will just give all the ideas put at the post-it notes. Or sometimes we will just talk it verbally. Yeah. One thing about brainstorming is that if for my previous section is that I mentioned that can be a disadvantage when it's being held with a group of introverts and also extroverts. I believe in a team, there are some people that will be much more outspoken and some would be like just keep quiet and be silent. All right. So it's very important that how your boss or your supervisor or you, if you are the event organizer, that you can have everyone to pop in their thoughts. And one way of that is actually using a post-it note. All right. To have everyone to write down, post it on the wall, and after that only you evaluate. All right. So there's this one brainstorming idea that I would like to share with you. Is known as the sailboat exercise. Okay. It's not necessarily needed to be done like online. You can also do it physically. Like what you need is maybe a mahjong paper or a flip chart. And you need to draw a sailboat like this, okay? And the rocks, the wind, and an island. All right, so each of these actually represents something. So the island actually means your vision or your goal. Green is about the resources that can help with your team, all right? And rocks are what are the risks, and anchor are the things that actually can slow your team or something that can block you from moving on, all right? So this can actually help teams to define a vision, all right, because your goal, what you want. So how it works is that you draw this picture and then you will ask the participants, all right, to put in their thoughts at a post-it note and just put in at the respective place, all right. So now I will like to do this exercise with you all. All right. This is a link to it. And I actually have sent an invite to you. So perhaps you can check at your the email that you have registered with. All right. And then you just click on the link and you'll be able to see to see something like this. Yeah. All right. Okay. Do let me know if you can click on the link. All right. So actually last week we did something about we were lost at a desert. So this week we will be lost at the sea. Okay. So I'm these two, all right, that I would like to share with you, yeah, is actually sorry for my voice, yeah. It's actually part from the Zoom, all right. So it's known as the whiteboard. So you can click on the whiteboard. Just let me show you, yeah. All right. So you will see whiteboards over here, and it's quite fun to work with, yeah. They even have like templates that you can work on it. And this sailboat exercise, they actually have it as a template over here as well. Let me see. Yeah, you just click on all templates and it will tell you like which category you want it to be. All right, so that you even have like all the sticky notes ready for you. So you just have to pick which one you want to use. You can even use it for your students, all right, when you want them to give your thoughts, if you want to use like something different, all right. Okay, no problem, Janet. Thanks, and thank you for coming. Yeah, and nice to meet you. All right. So now let's do this exercise together. All right, let's just have fun. Yeah. Oh, okay. I saw Bucky's already. Yeah, how about the rest? Li Jing, do you able to go into the website?
Requested permission.
Requested permission.
Oh,
Eh, can you check your staff email?
oh,
Yeah, I think I sent it
oh, I
this
think
morning.
oh,
Yeah, then you just
I,
click from there. Yeah. So yep. So for the rest, yep, you need to go to your staff email, all right, the one that you have registered with Hazim, okay, for this training, all right, for this workshop, okay. So you will see like a sharing whiteboard from my boss, okay, Gabriel Lau, because I'm using his Zoom account. So yeah, so no worries, that's not a scam, all right? Yeah, just click on it and then yeah, you will be able to come to this sailboat, all right? Yeah, just this is going to be a relax and fun game, all right? In other words, I just want you all to get an idea on how this actually works. So if you want to use this in your team meeting or anything, yeah, so you don't have to worry about you need to draw the boat lah or maybe draw the wind, all right? Because you can get this at the template at the whiteboard for Zoom, all right? So okay, let's see. I only see Bucky. How about the rest? Do you able to get into this sailboat? Bucky is venturing around, I can see. All right, so I really like set a goal for you. Okay, so we have two goals right now. So because we are lost at sea, yeah. So one of the goals, of course, is to go to a potential shipping route or a landmass that might lead to a rescue or safety. So of course, when we are lost at sea, we just want to be rescued and we be able to land in a safer place, yeah. And another goal is actually to ration the available food and water supplies for prolonged sustenance until the help arrive. Okay. So at the boat, of course, we have food, we have water, and also some other of the supplies, but now we want to land in a safer place. All right. So the first thing first, yeah. If you unable to get into this, never mind. All right, you can pop it at the chat box over there on your ideas, okay? So I see that Bucky is moving around. All right, so Bucky, yeah, let's come to the risk part over here. Okay, so that's the rock, right? So what are the risks that we may face? What do you think? So what you need to do is you click on the oh, sorry, maybe let's scroll down. Yeah. So what you need to do is, yeah, yes, yeah, you can start to write. Thank you. What are the risks? Yeah, you can put in a lot of ideas. Yeah. So this is how it works. Okay. So you can double click on the sticky notes and then you put in your thoughts. Yeah, so this is how it works. So let's wait for Li Jing a little bit. And for the rest, if you unable to get into this link, that is fine. You can put in at the chat box over here. Yeah. But he has a lot of ideas. So we talk about loss at sea. Yeah. So the situation is we are lost at sea right now. So what are the risks now? Okay. All right. I saw Li Jing is also here. Yeah. Yeah, Li Jing, hello. Okay, so now we are at the risk part. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, our goal is to get into a safer place and also how to ration the food and the water. Yeah, so now we go to the risk part, which is the rock. All right. So what you need to do is that you just need to click on the sticky note and then you can put in your thoughts about like, yeah, what are the risks? Okay. Okay. Didn't take instruction properly, all right. What else? So, but you mentioned about mental health, all right. Low BP due to, oh, okay, due to dehydration. That's very medical way of thinking. I think, but you're from nursing, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, do let me know if I'm wrong, yeah. So, okay, all right. All right, Li Jing, do you have any other risks that you can think about while we are feng shui? Okay, feng shui not good. How can you talk? Okay, let's see. All right. So how it works is that this is our goal, yeah, Stephanie. So our goal now, we want to move on, all right, to a safer place and also to ration the food and water. So what are the risks that we may experience while we are doing this? When we are trying to get into a safer place, what are the risks that we may be experiencing? All right. Mental health panic attack, all right. Sacrifice team member for survival. Yes, weather is one of another risk. Yes, that's right. Anything else? What may be other risk? The boat has problem. Okay. All right, lack of food and water. Yeah, there can be less of the risk. Sharks, yes, the predators might be coming. Yes, that is so right. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Still not working, leaking. Yeah, that's correct. Shark is good. You sure you can hunt the shark? Yes, weather, fear, and diseases. Yes, that is very true. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so these are the example of the risk. All right. So now we move on to the anchor. All right. Okay, come, let's go to the anchor part. Yeah. So what are the things that might have blocked us, okay, from moving on. All right, that will slow down. All right, that will slow down our progress. Okay, our own mental blockage. All right. So blockers means something we wanted to do it, but what are the things that can slow us down? Yeah. No teamwork. Yep, that's good. Boat without petrol. Yep, yeah, that's correct. Anything else that you can think about? The captain has escaped. Okay, yeah, that might okay slow us down as well. Different opinions. Yes, okay. Yep, that is true. Illness, power struggle. All right. Okay. I would say that this can be much more risk. Yeah. Like illness, diseases. Okay. That is kind of a risk. All right. Now it's very easy. Jump off the boat. All right. Okay. So other thing else would be like lack of visibility. All right. That can slow us down because of the fog. And also, if let's say the captain has escaped, there will be lack of experience because we do not know how to sail. All right. And another thing that can slow us down would be our physical energy. All right, because we would be very tired. We are like so stressed and worried, and then we will be very tired. Yeah, so all these are the things that can slow us down. Right? Okay, so let's move up. What are the solution to this? All right. What are the things that can help us to navigate towards a safer place? What are the things? Yeah. What are the solutions? How we can get help and how we can rationalize feng shui. Dijing, are you sure we will still be able to look at the feng shui? Yes, unity. Yep. Learn to hunt for food. Yeah, if we manage to land at an island. Yes. Teamwork. All right. That's what Miss Stephanie has mentioned. Teamwork win. Google, but do you think Google will work in the sea that time? Oh, this is very good, Bai. Yep. The filter water part. Yes, this is definitely a very good solution when we do not have a lot of water, yeah? Yes. Definitely there's an idea. So in other words, we must bring Li Jing with us whenever we travel in the sea or maybe in the desert. Oh yeah, you are right. Now I'm wondering like why IT. Now I understand why. So you are important, Li Jing. All right, what else? What are the solutions? Yeah, that can help us look up for anyone as navigating. Oh, skill. Oh, but he is also very good in surviving. Yep, all right. So, yep, that is good. Oh, look at the stars, Li Jing. Wow. Now I know that your survival instinct is very strong. Yeah, so stars and the sun can help us to position our direction in a way. Anything more? Yeah, if you need more sticky notes, I can bring in for you. Let's see. IT, please spill. Eat shark fin soup to calm down, then can think. Okay. Oh, this is so funny, all right. All right, Li Jing, in case you want to write more, or Bak-yi, since you have a lot of solutions. IT, please spill a communication too. Okay. This project will take 3 months. Planning meeting and yeah, I think we have to make it bigger. All right, okay, thank you. All right, yeah, so I hope you all have some fun, all right, during this activity. So this is how it works. So this sailboat exercise is just not only brainstorming on the solution, as you can see. We also think about what are the risks and what are the things that slow us down in achieving our goal. All right. So yeah, I hope that this sailboat exercise, okay, will bring benefits to you that you can use for your organization or even with your student as well. All right. Okay. Okay, Li still finding solution for us. Build a bigger sail, yeah, that is when we were landed in an island, yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, thank you. All right. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for brainstorming your ideas. I guess all of us here will be able to survive with each other, yeah, I hope. All right, thank you. All right, thank you very much. Okay. All right, so this is about the sailboat exercise, okay? And the next tool that I would like to share with you is actually this decision tree, all right? So this is quite a common method as well, where you will see like what is the condition, and then if it's sunny, all right, then you will go to the next step and to the next step, and finally, what is the decision that you have to take or the solutions that you have to take, all right? However, for this, you may have to brainstorm a little bit, all right, on the what are the alternative, what are the consequences, as long as no big bosses sitting there playing politic games. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Yeah, I think politics, yeah, is inevitable, I would say, in any of the organization. Yeah. All right. So, yep, this is a decision tree on how it works. All right. So it's very important that to have this diagram ready, you will have to work with a few people in order to brainstorm on what are the possible consequences and what are the solution for that. All right. Okay. And the last one is about benchmarking. All right. So sometimes when we want to launch a product or when we want to look at ourselves, one thing you can do is actually to see your competitor or someone that you are looking high upon on, all right? So there are a few steps that you can do for this benchmarking. The first is to establish the objective, all right? So what are the things that you want to improve, all right, or you want to see? Then you collect the data from your competitor, all right? You analyze it, and then you identify what is the gap, and you feel that, oh, actually, whatever they're doing is actually good. So you select and you implement it. And finally, all right, if things go right or maybe things go wrong, all right, then you will repeat again this cycle in order to get the things that you want or to achieve your objective. So this is about benchmarking. All right. All right. Today is kind of like a fast session, yeah. So to wrap up, okay, all right. Generally, problems are everywhere, all right, even though as part of our life or maybe at work. So, however, we shouldn't be like thinking negatively, all right, or pessimistic, because to the very end of the day, we would be able to benefit on the solutions that we have chosen and also the skill that we have. Because problem solving skill is also part of kind of like a practice make perfect thing. So when you know that what are the possible way, all right. So for example, like for the 6 steps, yeah. So if you follow the step and you know that, oh, perhaps you are not good in either of the steps, so you may be able to polish your step, all right. And it's also very important to understand like which approach of yours in solving the problem. So some of you might be ideator, some of you might be clarifier, or maybe implementer, and so on and so forth. That is very important that you know, all right, what kind of person you are, all right? Different personality and different experience would definitely change your problem solving skills. And it's also important that we understand other people as well, all right? So define every problem you encounter. Do not rush in to solve the problem as soon as you see one. It's important that you know what are the root cause, what is the main real problem so that you don't waste your energy and time on that. And we see this, okay, as challenges or an opportunity to help us to learn and grow. All right. So we learn, all right, from young until now, and we never ever stop learning from each other and also the things that we encounter every day. So it's also important, all right, that when we think about the solutions and ways that we can solve the problem in a better way or in a creative way. So I didn't like talk much about on how to think about creatively is because I have also another session previously on creative and critical thinking. So perhaps some of you have actually attended my sharing session previously. So it's like a series where you can put in all these application to your life. All right. Okay. Many problems solved. Thank you, Lee Jay. And ini adalah cubaan daripada Tuhan. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I believe with each problem that comes to our way, right, there are certain things that the Almighty might want us to realize. All right. Sorry that I, yeah, revert a little bit. All right. So, yeah, don't be afraid to escape because I do believe the more what no matter if okay if the problem you never solve at this place and you move on to another place, the problem will still come and hunt you down. So yeah, don't be afraid to solve the problem and always remember that you have someone to be with you. I believe even at work or personally. Ah, Li Jing, I should screenshot this statement and send it to your wife. All right, okay, so with that, all right, I would like to end this sharing session with this quote. Every problem offers an opportunity for a solution. All right, so never think that problem actually is giving an end to your life, but in fact, it's important that we change our mindset, that we see this is an opportunity for something else. Perhaps another door is opening for you that we do not know. All right, so important is that you have the right frame of mind to find it. All right. Okay. Yeah, so Li Jing, you can share me your wife number, okay? So, but he mentioned that IT guys always be there to help. Yeah, we have ISD and yeah, Li Jing probably yeah, he's a much higher level, I would say. Okay, all right. So thank you very much. I know that today is quite fast, all right? It's only 10:30. Thank you for joining my session. And this is also my last session for this year. All right. Thank you, Stephanie. All right. Nice to meet you. And yeah, for Penny. Yeah, with usability testing, but I guess we could never run away from that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you for joining. All right. Happy Friday, everyone. And hope to see you next year. All right. On in my next sharing session. Thank you very much for joining. Yeah. Happy year and Yes, happy Friday. Yeah, we look at the present moment first. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, the video, yeah, I have to check with Hazi, and then one is done, then yeah, he will send it to all of you. Yeah. All right. Okay, so that concludes everything, and thanks again for joining. I really enjoy my last session with all of you. All right, for this year. All right, thank you, and I hope to see you all next year. Have a good weekend, and also to take care of yourself. Yeah. All right, see you, and thank you, and bye bye.